Be right back, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be right back. I'm going to go grab some water. Rob Star Gang, what up? What up? Appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Of course, my dumbass scheduled it for 10:55 p.m. when it was for 11:55 a.m. Well, for 12 o'clock. So, but here we are. Here we are. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's Fan Discussion Fridays. Marcus Cassidy here saying, what up, Panther Nation? Step on that like button for sure. StreamYard link is up. So this is for you guys to come in. Quote of the day brought to you by betus.com. Linking down in the description. Promo code Pantherology. Of course, because y'all know I used to be called Pantherology. That used to be the channel's name. But now it's the Ropp Star Report. So quote of the day brought to you by BetUS. Sign up for free today. Get 125% bonus on your first bet. MLB, NHL playoffs, basketball playoffs. So get on the action now. Quote of the day, judge a man by his questions rather than his answers. All right. The Q&A for today is give me your top 5 NFL quarterbacks in the NFL right now. Go ahead. Go ahead and post it and post your comments in there. Post your comments. Love to know. What are your top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL right now? Also, guys, today's show is for you. It's Fan Discussion Fridays. That's what I call it. Put your questions in the Discord if you're in the Discord, or your topics in the Discord, and we'll discuss them. Or you can put them in the comment section if you want. You can ask me questions, whatever. But top 5. Yeah, give me your top 5, JP. Right now, who are your top 5 in order 1 through 5? QBs. Yep. QBs. Who's your top 5 right now? I'm curious. I'm curious to hear what the chat, who their top 5 is. I know my top 5. It's easy. I'm gonna put in my top 5 right now. That's my top 5. You're like, and everybody's probably going to go off on me saying, you got Aaron Rodgers at 3? Yeah. Because Aaron Rodgers is still a bad man. Aaron Rodgers is still a bad man. Yeah. He might have tore his Achilles last year. So he didn't really get to see that. Aaron Rodgers is still a bad man, dude. I'm still taking Lamar Jackson over CJ Stroud right now. CJ Stroud had 1 season. I would put CJ Stroud at 5, but I like Lamar Jackson. I still think Lamar Jackson, like the Ravens, would they be good with CJ Stroud? Sure. I think so too, but Lamar Jackson just fits that offense. They built that offense. This will probably be a huge debate. I just think A-Rod at 3 is it's perfect. Y'all killing me with Kermit the Frog. That's why I put him. Kermit the Frog at number 15. Sorry, guys. I needed a snack. I was starving. Yeah. That's my top 5. I like Mahomes, Jackson, Burrow, Allen, maybe Herbert at 5. I think Herbert doesn't get a lot of credit either. I mean, you could put Justin Herbert at number 5 for sure. Kermit, Burrow, Allen. Okay. You got Burrow over Allen. I got Allen over Burrow just because I still feel like Burrow gets a lot more credit than Allen does. Because if you think about it, Allen, all he's ever had weapons wise is Stephon Diggs. But I still respect that list for sure. Yeah. I think it's very fair, Mark. I think it's very fair. So that's a fun one. All right, let's bring up some lists. Let's bring up some topics today. We're going to use articles for today's topics. Okay, for some of the stuff that I want to talk about. Okay. Is Bryce Young the franchise quarterback? Basically, what this article is saying, as I was reading through it, that's what I'm saying, JP. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I think it's fair to say that Allen and them are, you know, you can go back and forth with them, but I just think that I give Allen the edge due to the fact he's only had Stephon Diggs. And that's it. All right, let's talk about this real quick. So Bryce Young, basically what this article is talking about is ranked. He's ranked 25th among quarterbacks by PFF. Okay. He hasn't exactly been lighting up the NFL. We know that. All right. PFF came out, ranked him at 25, best starting quarterback heading into the 2024 season. They didn't hold back on his evaluation. Okay, guys. And they pointed out that that Young's rookie year was rough to say the least. And it was a tough rookie season. All right. I mean, hell, recently, guys, Bryce Young just came out in an article on The Athletic and literally made a statement to Joe Parsons. And I think it was even Dave Newton was even a part of that too. Came out and said that he didn't have guys get open last year for him. I mean, he came out. There's an article that came out, and I'll show you the article. Basically explaining that it's by The Athletic. Basically explaining that he didn't have guys open. Okay, he had a tough rookie season. His performance was pretty harsh, right? The backlash he got was pretty harsh. I was part of that notion that it was pretty harsh on him, but I also saw some light of it, right? And you can blame it on the owner. You can blame it on the GM for not bringing in the adequate talent, bringing in the good draft talent. You can blame it on multiple factors. Too many voices in his head, like Randy Orton. Whatever you want to blame it on, okay? You can blame it on multiple factors, okay? However you want to blame it on is up to you, okay? But he had a tough rookie season. 5.26 passer grade, but with PFF, he was ranked 41st among qualifying quarterbacks. 27.6 passer grading under pressure, was the worst in the league. Okay. In other words, he struggled. He struggled mightily. And it's not all on him, though. I still believe that the Panthers as a team were equally struggling. It wasn't just Bryce. I think the whole team was struggling. All right. I believe that with more confidence and better decision making, I think Young can turn things around. All right. That's a crucial part of his game. That's going to be a crucial part of his game this year. All right. Development and evaluation is going to be crucial. Okay. Improvements, additions, right? They added in Deontay Johnson. They got Xavier Legette. They got Jonathan Brooks. They got tight end Jadavion Sanders. They brought in Robert Hunt. They brought in Damian Lewis. A bunch of new faces that should give Young better targets, better protection, and make his job easier, right? Should. So we got a new head coach too. So you factor that in now. New head coach, very optimistic, outgoing guy. Seems like very in your face. I think I see a lot of Pete Carroll-like vibes out of him. How he's just so energetic, how he's so in your face, right? And he's been highlighting Bryce Young's accuracy, his football IQ, all these different factors, all right? He's also noted Young's footwork, base, mechanics, how impressive he's been during these practice sessions. Now, then Canales added that Young's accuracy stands out, especially when throwing to different types of receivers with the varying speeds and quickness. Apparently, he's got more zip on the ball now because he's bulked up, whatever the case may be. Despite that rough start, I do think there's optimism here around Young's potential. There's potential. Okay. The new additions, the positive feedback, I do think that he has the support he needs to improve. While being ranked at 25th from a PFF standpoint, really isn't ideal. It means that there's room to grow. And with the right pieces around him in place, Young and the Panthers could surprise a lot of people this season. There's been articles out there that I've seen that have said that they could be the surprising team of the NFL this year. They could be the dark horse team. They could be the dark horse team of the NFL this year. And I'm not saying that that's the case. There's just people out there talking. Okay. So I wanted to go over that article. We got more articles to go over. Before we do that, make sure you pound that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. There's another article I want to go over here that was sent to me by, of course, my good friend, Zach Rappaport. So we're going to go over that one here shortly. I actually need to that I was reading it earlier. So we're going to go over that one today as well. Again, guys, if you haven't joined the Discord, make sure you do that. Make sure you go ahead and join the Discord. Make sure you pound the like button, hit that subscribe button. Appreciate everyone joining in here. Give me your top 5 quarterbacks if you haven't already. A few people already have. That is the Q&A question of the day. Make sure you give me. I'd love to continue hearing y'all's thoughts on your top 5 quarterbacks. I got Kermit the Frog at 1. I got Josh Allen at 2. I got Aaron Rodgers at 3, Joe Burrow at 4, and Lamar Jackson at 5. At 5. It's a tough call when you get in those top 5 lists. It's a tough call with, I think, a lot of positions. I think it's a very tough call. Turtle Man, I'm hoping he can turn it around too. Everything is set in stone for him to do so, Turtle. So, it needs to transition now onto the field, right? I don't care what anybody says. These go-go squeeze applesauces, bomb.com. I don't care what anybody says. Call me a child if you want to. Call me a child if you want to. All right. Right now, we're doing a part 2 series on my shorts, trying to create the perfect quarterback list, blind ranking. So I got part 2 coming out today. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to go over, Day One Panthers fan. I think that's what that article came out has to do with. At least I think it is. Let me see. Because Zach in the Discord put it in there. I want to make sure it's from that article. Let me make sure. Hold on. 1 second here. Yeah. I think it's the same thing. I think it's the same thing. It looks like it's the same thing that Zach sent me. All right. So we're going to talk about that here shortly. Okay. Give me 1 second here, guys. Okay, so next topic. I'm trying to get this article pulled up for you guys that I wanted to go over. I had to find it real quick because this is another article I wanted to go over. It's the one actually that Zach sent me. I just couldn't find it for some reason, but I found it now, so it's a big deal. All right, perfect. Should be good there. Should be good there. All right. Let's pull this one up. No, not slides. Let me share my screen on which article is it? This one, the running back room. Let me pull that up. Perfect. Okay. Here's another article. The running back room breakdown. But this article kind of was coming out about basically saying that this is going to be the workhorse. This running back room is a powerhouse in the making. Basically, I'm excited about this running back lineup. Okay. I don't know about y'all. I'm excited about it. Okay. I'm like super excited about it because here's the reason why. Here's the reason why. Chuba Hubbard has emerged as the Panthers' go-to guy, right? He took over for Miles Sanders last season, and he's not alone. Okay. Alongside Hubbard, the Panthers have Raheem Blackshear, right? And a promising new addition, Jonathan Brooks, who was picked in the second round in the draft. Now, Brooks is recovering from an ACL. We all know that. Suffered back in November, but expected to be a serious playmaker. He's got playmaking skills. And once he's back on the field, I'm looking forward to see what he can bring to the table. Okay. Now, Brooks is using his time at rookie minicamp and OTAs really just soak him in the knowledge around his teammates. Okay. And then I think Brooks is ready to play. He'll be competing with carries with Hubbard, I think, at some point. You got Miles Sanders, Rashad Penny, and undrafted free agent Jaden Sheridan, who I like a lot. All right. I think Jaden Sheridan's actually got a lot of potential. Hubbard at 25. He led the Panthers last season with over 1,100 yards from scrimmage yards. He's in his final year of his rookie contract, so he has a lot to prove. Miles Sanders last season wasn't great for us at all, despite being signed for a 4-year contract at $25.4 million and $16 million guaranteed, and he struggled, and he only rushed for over 70 yards in just 2 games. Unfortunately, I think Miles Sanders is stuck here another year until next year, so that we can move on a little bit off that contract and not get killed with the dead cap if we moved on from him now. We can move on from him now after the June 1st designation date, but I still think the dead cap would still be, I think it's like a solid 10.6, 10.4 million that we would get hit with that dead cap hit. What's good, Supernova? Appreciate you joining the live stream, my guy. Rashad Penny, a former first-round pick. In 2018, he's looking to revive his career. He's known for his toughness, short yardage situations. Another thing is he's only played 15 games, all right, over the past 2 seasons. Jonathan Brooks, rookie from Texas, showed his potential, racked up over 1,400 yards from scrimmage, 11 touchdowns just in his sophomore year. Undrafted free agent, Jaden Surden, impressive college career at Monmouth, over 3,600 yards, basically almost 3,700 yards, actually, I should say. He was 3 yards from 3,700. 26 touchdowns, and that's including he had 14 touchdowns of at least 50 yards or more. 14 touchdowns of 50 yards or more. Blackshear, Mike Boone, both are also in the mix. Really just special team guys. Boone and them really haven't done much. Raheem Blackshear did show some signs of potential, I thought, last year. I thought they saw some potential in him last year, but he just seems like a special teams guy, right? But building a strong run game, that we know that they're committed to boosting this run game, especially now with that revamped offensive line. You got Robert Hunt, Damian Lewis, who should be able to support that, open up those run lanes. The goal is to shape this team into a classic, strong defensive squad with a powerful run game. That is their goal. It's not about Bryce Young throwing for 4,000 yards and being an air raid spread offense where they're just throwing down the field 10, 15 yards at a time, right? It's not like that. It's not set up the way the Kansas City Chiefs play. It's set up to way that they're shaping this team into a classic, strong defensive team that has a powerful run game. I won't be surprised this year if we see 4 guys on the roster at the running back position. And unfortunately for Mike Boone and Blackshear, I don't think they make this team. I think they get booted to the practice squad, or Blackshear at least goes to practice squad. Mike Boone's out. Because I think they're going to keep Jaden Sheridan. I think Jaden Sheridan's got all the potential in the world. I think Jaden Sheridan has all the potential in the world. So the question is, I think people need to understand is why are the Panthers bucking the trend and stockpiling these running backs? Well, again, Dave Canales explained that. The strategy behind drafting Brooks and keeping a deep roster at the position. He feels that we need all the backs that we can get. And he feels like they are going to all contribute at some point in the season. So I'm knocking on wood there. And he goes, someone's going to bust a shoestring, which basically means someone's going to get injured. But we also have other running backs that are ready to play now, is basically what he's getting at. So obviously there's going to be the challenge of them competing. We're going to see how that goes through the offseason training. And of course, once training camp comes around, I think they're going to have I'm pretty confident in this running back group. I'm pretty confident in that. I will say this has been one of the most running back rooms I've ever been confident in. Just with those additions of Jaden Sheridan and Jonathan Brooks. And already knowing I got Chuba Hubbard, who's going to give me at least 900 yards, and I'm close to 200 to 300 yards out of the air, right? Miles Sanders, you're going to be gone probably by next year. Rashad Penny, if he can stay healthy, can be a very versatile, useful halfback, especially for those short yardage downs. And then you got Jonathan Brooks, who could be that home run threat running back that we've been looking for, like Atlanta went out and got Bijan Robinson. This guy sat behind Bijan Robinson and Roschon Johnson for 2 seasons. Or was it a season? Yeah, it was like 2 seasons, I think. So I'm very confident that this running back group's going to pay off. I think they're deep there. I like the drive that they're going with this team forward in that area. I like the fact that we're going with that old classic, strong defense, powerful ground game. That's what, when we had Jay Stu and D'Angelo Williams, look how that worked out. That's what I'm hoping to get back to because it helps your quarterback out. It takes the pressure off your quarterback. All right. It takes the pressure off your quarterback. It opens up the pass game. We all know that having a good run game opens up the pass game. How many times have you talked about it with your buddies and talked ball with your buddies that you're just like, hey, man, we need to have a better run game so we can open up the pass? You've done that multiple times. It's the same situation here. Strong defense, powerful ground game. We're going to beat you to the ground, right? We are going to tire you out with a strong-ass run game. And we're gonna force you to throw the ball. That's why we created this defense to be very good at stopping the run. We are gonna force you to throw the ball and beat us through the air. And so, what's worse though? What's worse? Here's a good question for you guys. What's worse, getting beat through the air or getting beat down in the ground by the run game? What's worse? I think that's a good question in football. What's worse, getting beat through the air, you feel like, or getting beat down in the ground by the run game? You let me know what you think in the comments. So I'm pretty as for me, I'm pretty excited for the running back room. I'm pretty excited for the running back room. All right, as you can see. All right, another article I want to go over. Sports Illustrated came out with an article projecting Mr. Got the horses in the back, Xavier Legette. Basically projecting his statistics. Okay. All right. They are projecting Xavier Legette's 2024 statistics. Okay. It's interesting to me because this receiver, I feel like, has almost divided our fan base in a sort of in an interesting situation because like it's divided the internet like it's the dress all over again. All right. One side, we have the analytic nerds sweating over his late college breakout, his unimpressive yards per route run numbers, a bunch of the other stats that scream bust louder than a popcorn bag in a silent movie theater. And then on the other side, we've got fans who are all about the eye test. They're gushing over his size, his speed, those jaw-dropping movement skills. I'm one of them. Okay. They know we all know of his lack of college production was more about the chaos around him at South Carolina because I know that. I'm a Gamecock fan. I know what I keep up with them enough to know what goes on. Oh, and they've also got a picture of Legette riding his trusty steed dollar bill saved on their phone, most of them there. Now, Legette's career and process blue, Panthers blue for the uninitiated. It's just starting. He's already the poster child of the new never-ending film versus analytics debate. So if we dive into his projected rookie season, I'm going to give you my stats. All right. But the article is going to give you some different stats. Okay. But back in the day, rookie receivers were like an unripe avocado. That's the way I like to look at it. Rookie wide receivers are like an unripe avocado. I love avocados, by the way. Hands up in the chat if you love avocados. But full of potential, right? They need a lot of time to be ready, right? You fast forward to the 2020s, and the script was flipped, right? 3 of the 4 rookie wide receivers receiving seasons ever happened in the last 5 years. You remember last year with Puka Nacua? The guy that broke every rookie record and became a second team All-Pro? Comparing Legette to Nacua or Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase, that's definitely a stretch. Those guys have paved the way for rookies to make a splash. With that being said, I don't expect Legette to set the league on fire in year 1. I'll be honest with you. I think we got to keep our expectations here very realistic. And I think my stat line is pretty damn realistic. All right. First up, where's Legette going to play in the Dave Canales offense, right? That's something we got to talk about. Is he an X? Is he a Z? Is he a slot? Is he a mix of all 3? What routes will he run? Is he shallow crossers, deep verticals? Is he going to be running short end routes to show off his yards after the catch skills? Will he even see the field in 2 tight end sets from day 1? So many questions with so little time to answer them because we don't know yet. The numbers game. I'm betting Legette will see about at least 70 targets this season. I think he's going to see at least 70, which is closer around to guys like Trey Palmer saw last year, or Tank Dell saw last year. Of course, he got injured, but still saw over 70 targets. JSM in Seattle saw that in his rookie year. Somebody else I saw, I think it was Deontay Wicks. I don't know if I pronounced his name correctly. Anyways, he saw that around that. So, similarly, I still see Legette being the 3rd guy behind Adam Thielen and Deontay Johnson right now. Okay? So, out of those 70 targets, I still project Legette will snag probably around 39 receptions. Something around that. Between 35 and 40 receptions, I think is pretty good. Okay? All right? At an average of 15 yards per catch. Because DJ Chark managed that average despite a rough season in Carolina. So I think Legette, speed, yards after catchability, that should help him hit that mark. No problem. Okay? That's why I say 15 yards after the catch. I'm going to give him a final stat line of around 70 targets, 39 receptions, and around 585 yards and 4 touchdowns. That stat line is comparable to a lot of guys from last year. Okay? A lot of guys. So we might see this as an underwhelming stat line, but I think other people will spot the flashes of potential that could make Legette a key player in the future. Okay? The big question here is how do you feel about my Legette's projection? I think 585, 4 touchdowns. Did I say 4 or 3? 4 touchdowns. Yeah. 585, 4 touchdowns. I think do you think it's a promising start, or is it a letdown? Because we're going off based off the film versus the analytic debates, rages. That's going to continue to go on. We'll see Legette's performance. We'll only add fuel to the fire. So let's hope we get that highlight reel moments that we saw in South Carolina to settle that score. So I'm taking, I like my stat line. I think 70 targets, 39 receptions, 585 yards, 4 touchdowns. I think it's very reasonable. I think it's very realistic. I don't think it's over an overabundance. So y'all sound off in the comments. Let me know what you think. What are your projected stats for Xavier Legette? Make them realistic. Don't come in here and say 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns. And again, he's going to be the third option. Everybody needs to realize that the Carolina Panthers fan, Adam Thielen is still the number 2 wide receiver on this team. Okay? I still believe that. I still believe that Xavier Legette will be the third option. But he's going to get his. He's going to get his. And I still think that 585 yards and 4 touchdowns is not a bad rookie season. Now, again, Legette could go out there. Yeah, I think that's the thing, Josh. If Mingo's still on this team, he's going to get targets too. He's going to get rotated out there. He's a second-round pick. Like Broski said, he thinks it's hysterical that people have forgot that Mingo was a second-round pick. I mean, Broski, again, I can tell you why people don't talk about Mingo. You know why? Because he was second in the NFL at creating separation. He was the second worst wide receiver in the NFL creating separation. He only got open 25% of the time that he was targeted. And he was on, and especially on his first routes, if he was the first read, Broski Bear, guess what? He was only open 25% of the time. So that's why you might think it's hysterical, but it's really not, because he was ass last year as a rookie. And I granted, I'm going to give him the same respect as everybody else does when it comes to Bryce Young. You got to give it time, and this offense was atrocious, and all the other excuses y'all want to make for Bryce, or whatever excuses you want to make for Mingo, you got to give Mingo the same respect, and I'm going to give him the same respect. But I'm also going to give you facts. So, PFF ranks Panthers' top 3 players entering the NFL season. Who's the top dogs on the Panthers roster right now? Y'all think? Who are your top 3 guys? Who are your top 3 guys? Because PFF has their top 3. So, who are your top 3 guys on the Panthers roster right now? I think I might have to go hit some arms like Bryce Young, man. Does that look like Bryce? Does that look like Bryce throwing it right there? You know what I mean? Is that the right angle we're getting at right there? I'm such a fucking clown. Oh, man. Bryce is bulking up, man. He's making me look small. I don't know. I don't know if if you look at Bryce's picture, I can't tell if that's a quarterback or if it's a bodybuilder, man. Can't tell. Guy might want to think about going into arm wrestling competitions. I'm just fucking trolling. So give me your top 3. Who are your top 3 players on this roster right now? I'm curious to hear. Because PFF has theirs. Who's the top dogs on the Panthers roster? You got Brian Burns, DJ Moore, Christian McCaffrey packed their bags over the last 2 seasons. They're gone. I hate to bring that up, but we are in that rebuilding phase, right? Someday we might see names like Bryce Young, Xavier Legette, Jonathan Brooks, Derek Brown leading the charge. But as we head into the 2024 season, the Panthers lineup looks slightly different. So according to Pro Football Focus, The top 3 based off this list are Derek Brown, J.C. Horn, and Jadeveon Clowney. The top 3. Here's why. They've got Derek Brown because, of course, the guy is the shining star of the Panthers over the last season. I think I think Derek Brown's the face of the organization right now. Maybe besides Bryce Young. The only reason, of course, why Bryce is the face of the organization is just because he was drafted first overall. Okay. He will become the face of the organization if he can prove to be the franchise guy. Right now, Derek Brown pulled an elite 90.9 overall grade while playing over 900 snaps. That's a lot of time dominating the field. Okay. J.C. Horn. That was their other guy on this list. Sure, he missed all 4 games last season. He missed all but 4 games last season, which is pretty good for him, by the way, guys. He only missed 4 games last season, which is pretty damn good. But there's no doubt Horn is still one of the best on the team. When he's on the field, his presence is undeniable. Everybody knows that. Okay. I think he's going to have a breakout season this year. I think he if he stays healthy, he will finish in the top 5 in corners this year. He's one of my breakout guys. I think if he stays healthy, he will stay. He will be a top 5 corner if he stays healthy. I truly believe that. Jadeveon Clowney, the new guy on the block, he posted his 3rd high season grade of his NFL career last year, 85.7. He's getting older, but still got the goods to be one of the Panthers' top players. He's the best pass rusher on our team right now. Okay. So one glaring issue, I will say, no full-time Panthers offensive player earned a season grade above 78.0 in 2023. But don't lose hope just yet. Wide receivers Adam Thielen, Deontay Johnson, I think they're poised to climb those ratings by the end of the season. And let's not forget Bryce. If he can step up his game, he could definitely be on this list with a strong supporting class. He might also make it onto that list. So this is a season for growth, guys. That's what I'm looking at this 2024 season as. It's a new time. It's a new era. It's a season of growth. That's why we should be looking at the Carolina Panthers. Marcos Cash comes in and says, guys, make sure you join the Discord. Yeah, join the Discord. Go ahead and join it. Feel free to join it at any time. All right. That's where we always are updating the latest news of the Panthers and topics. All right. We hope. Yep. We hope for sure. Guys, make sure you smash that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Appreciate everyone joining and being here today on this beautiful Friday. On this beautiful Friday. All right, let me share the screen. Let's go to the next one. Waiver wire cuts. So apparently Cat Crave came out with this. It said 4 waiver wire cut candidates that we should monitor. So let's go over them real quick. So they're saying that they should monitor I want to say it's Dame Brown. Dayami Brown. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name correctly. We all know the Panthers have, anyways, the number 1 waiver wire prior throughout the offseason. It's a valuable tool for rebuilding. While some players will likely be cut for various reasons before week 1. So Morgan will definitely be ready to pounce on some of those. So based off what Matt Crave said, these are the 4 guys that we should look out for. So the first one, as you see here, is the wide receiver out of Washington. I think it's Dame Brown or Diami Brown. I'm not really sure how to pronounce his name correctly. So, but he says that basically they were saying it here is that the wide receiver room, they went out, got Deontay Johnson. We went out, got Xavier Legette, right? But there's always room for more talent, which is true. There's definitely always room for more talent. You get a guy like Brown, who was a former standout at UNC. I remember him. Who struggled to find his footing in the pros, with the being there in Washington. The Commanders could decide to part ways with this guy, right? But I think we could benefit from having him for his athleticism and his potential. Diami Brown. Diami Brown. Okay. I think Hen has fixed my Diami Brown situation. So he's familiar with the region and might thrive in a change of scenery, fresh off uniform, right? Hen Brown says he's fast, but has route running issues. What's up, Penn? Appreciate you joining, my guy. Appreciate you joining. Guys, also, if there's any topics or questions that you want to talk about today, go ahead and post them in the chat. I'm going to end this Q&A. I'm going to go ahead and post that up. So I'm going to go ahead and start a Q&A. Post any topics about any topics or questions you may have on the Carolina Panthers or NFL. All right. So go ahead and do that. So any questions or topics, anything like that? Okay. Next up, they mentioned a guy named Trey Avery, which I've heard of. Okay. Corner he's a corner. He plays for the Tennessee Titans right now. Makes sense to me. The cornerback situation is far from ideal, in my opinion, for us. J.C. Horn's the only reliable outside corner. There's uncertainty about his ability to stay healthy, though. But again, I still think he's going to break out this year. He's going to stay healthy, and he could finish as a top 5 corner. I think he's going to. We signed guys like Dane Jackson. You drafted Smith Wade. You're adding more depth. Doesn't really hurt. Avery in 2 seasons has 2 seasons of starting experience. Could be a solid addition if the Titans decide to let him go. He's young. He's shown flashes of potential, making him a worth looking into to bolstering up that secondary. Let's see what the next person is. All right, next page. They say monitor Chris Rumpf. Okay, Chris Rumpf. I know he's an edge out of LA. I know that we need more pass rushing help. I've been known on here to pound the table for Yannick Ngakoue, who was a pass rusher there in Chicago last year. But we traded Brian Burns. You need more firepower. You got Jadeveon Clowney. You got DJ Wanum. But there are still question marks, I think, about the consistency and the depth and the health of this depth chart. This guy, Chris Rumpf, who had a 2023 season that was cut short due to an injury, I think could be a value pickup if they do decide to move on from him. The Chargers, I do agree with him there. I know Chris Rumpf pretty well. He could find himself outside looking in. All right. And when I say I know him pretty well, I know him as a player. Giving the Panthers a chance to snag a promising young player here. Let's see who the person they mentioned here. See if they got anybody else. Yep, one more. Laurel Murchison. So they're mentioning going after a guy for the defensive line. All right, played for LA. Definitely need to continue to strengthen up this defensive line. I can't agree more. Yeah, you drafted Crometti, you added O'Shawn Robinson. They still need more depth, especially at the nose tackle position. Laurel Murchison is someone that has worked with Evero. Could be an ideal. He's not a superstar. I think he could provide value depth if he could help this and solidify this defensive line rotation. Okay. So these are the guys that Cat Crave believe that we should monitor. And I just wanted to kind of go over that. We're already talking about what waiver wires, which is crazy. It's crazy. We're already talking about waiver wires. Yeah, and we definitely need more quarterback help. Are the Panthers going to sign another cornerback? I think so, Hen. I just don't know who and when. A lot of people are saying that Gilmore's still the best fit here. I just don't know. John Harbaugh. Should we sign Yannick Ngakoue for more D-line juice? Yeah. I've been pounding the table for that. I even made a short about it, I think, yesterday, talking about it. I definitely think we need to sign him. He's averaged over his career, he averages 8 sacks a season over his career. Now, last year he only had 4. But again, the more the better. And it keeps that defensive line fresh, good rotation. He get a good rotational guy. And if he can get 4 sacks that go along with Jadeveon Clowney's 9.5, if he can go that route again, and DJ Wonnum has another 8 sacks, that's a lot of sacks. That's a good amount of sacks. The more pressure, the more we can add to that D-line, the better. Again, this team's all going to be all about strong defense, stopping the run, forcing the teams to beat them with the quarterback's arm, and pounding that ball down their throat. John Harbaugh says, I don't think Wonnum and Clowney are producing the same numbers again. We'll see. I'm hoping so. I think Clowney has a better chance than Wonnum does, but John, I can't disagree with you. And I can't, but I'm hoping, right? I'm hoping. Unfortunately, I'm telling y'all, it's a hopeful year. It's a year for growth. That's what I look at this as. You're going to have some hope. You're going to have some faith, but it's never easy being a Panthers fan, is it? It's never easy. Antonio, what's up, man? Appreciate you joining. Like, subscribe, share the stream, please. Antonio, if you do that for me, if you do all 3 of those for me, or if you already done it for me, and if you already share the stream, I appreciate you, my guy. I appreciate you. I wish I could see who shares the live stream, because honestly, I might start doing a small giveaway. I might do like a small giveaway, maybe like a small Panthers mini helmet or something. For you just sharing the live stream. More giveaways are coming. And by the way, Neo Shadow, if you're watching, your Xavier Legette is going to take 2 to 4 weeks to get to you, my guy, because it's a pre-order jersey. So if you're watching, just so you know. All right, let's get into the next one. Now, this one I'm going to share based off the Discord. I'm going to hope I can share this a little bit more. Ah, okay. Let's share this from the Discord. Okay, can y'all see that? I'm going to try to make it bigger. Give me a second here. Oh, yeah. There we go. Boom. Y'all should be able to read that now. So this is the next topic I want to talk about here. This was sent to me in the Discord. It's an interesting topic. It's an article. It's basically talks about it's a prove it year for Tommy Tremble and who could benefit from it from the new offense. Okay. John, I mean, I think that's a good stat line. I said 30. I think I said 3,500 yards, 25 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. I think my completion percentage was the same. I think my completion percentage was at 62%. So I think it's realistically 3,500, 22, and 12. 62% is really what I think is very realistic. So yours is definitely very realistic too. It's very reasonable. Shared on Facebook and Messenger. Appreciate that, day one. Appreciate that. So basically yesterday, sounded like they're working on it was a red zone day for the Panthers. First week of OTAs. Bryce Young and his entire core receivers worked through multiple scenarios inside the 20-yard line. So the entire wide receiver worked on multiple scenarios inside the 20-yard line. So did not realize that. Hold on one second here. I did not know that they were. It's about time, though. It's about time this team worked on within the 20-yard line, though. I've been waiting for them to work more on that because we've been saying that this team for years needed to work on within the red zone. So I'm glad to see this. I'm glad to see that they're doing this. Another thing that's about it is that Tommy Tremble kept himself known though out there. He said they said that he snagged like 3 touchdowns. So he was on fire. John, I don't know if we did. I'd have to go back and look at the stat line, honestly. But apparently Tommy Tremble was on fire yesterday, caught 3 touchdown passes inside the 20-yard line. Tremble says he wants to be that guy that can really just do it all. Red zone, whatever the case may be. So if the Panthers offense unfolds the way that Dave Canales and this staff has envisioned, Tommy Tremble might be a breakout candidate too, guys. All right. Last season, he led the team in tight ends. Wasn't a great stat line, but he led the team in tight ends. He had 3 touchdowns last year, close to 200 yards, 23 receptions. I just need to see some tight ends that can give me 5 and 5. What do I mean by that? I need, since we got Tommy Tremble and Javion Sanders, I'd love to see guys get 500 yards, 5 touchdowns. You're a solid tight end if you can give me that. Especially with this wide receiver room, there's a lot of people that can eat in this offense. You got Tommy Tremble. You've got Jadeveon Sanders. You got Adam Thielen. You got Xavier Legette. Jonathan Mingo. You got Deontay Johnson. I mean, you got so many people that can eat. This offense has so much weapons and so much versatility. It's hard for me to really believe. It's hard for me to realize despite being in a system, last year they didn't fully utilize this position at the tight ends, but with everything that we have now, it's interesting how this is going to pan out because of just the versatility that we have on this roster on offense now. All right. So Trimble could see more action because Hayden Hurst is gone. You drafted Ja'Davion Sanders. Obviously, Dan Morgan made it clear this move was about expanding the unit's potential, not sidelining Trimble. We all know that this offense is still coming together, but Trimble apparently seems to be optimistic about his potential being here. The possibilities seem endless as the players learn the playbook. I think anybody has the potential to be that go-to guy. Some plays put tight ends in the slot. Some plays that they're going to do some out wide, some in the backfield. They're not just lining up next to the tackle anymore. You're way more optimistic about the offensive weapons than me. I think I will say our tight end room is not the best. I mean, you have a case there to say that we have the worst tight end room in the NFL. Statistically, you go look at it, sure. But I'm saying, like, we have more weapons than we had last year. We look better. I think that if we had this roster last year and Scott Fitter said, well, we look ready right now to win on paper, I would say that roster last year compared to this year, I think it's not even close. I would say this roster on paper overall looks better. And if Scott Fitter would have told me that if he had the roster that we have right now, that we can win right now with this roster, I would say you have a way better chance than you did last year with that roster. But I think Trimble, let's get back to this part of this, is Tommy Trimble isn't just looking to be a different kind of pass catching option this year. He wants to prove himself. And the coaches and Bryce Young. He wants to prove himself, and that's nothing new for Tommy Trimble. We've heard this same story before from him. All right. He started school early. He was always the smallest in his class. He had to fight for respect. Tommy Trimble had no college offers, but he got a break with his friend, Gerard Hurst, who invited him to a Nike Spark combine, knew he wouldn't impress with his size, so he took a creative approach, sewed weighted beanballs into his underwear pockets and stood on his tippy toes, and he measured at 6'4", 225. His profile then blew up. He got like 30 offers. It's a crazy ass story for what this kid had to do to get some offers. All right. So he chose Notre Dame over Georgia. All right. Redshirt sophomore declared for the NFL draft, proved he was right when the Panthers picked him up in the third round. He's in his final year of his rookie contract. It's a prove-it year for him. Can he do it? There's nothing new for Tommy Trimble. It's the first week of OTAs. Is any indication he's on track to prove his worth here once again, and I'm looking forward to it. I think our weapons went from 32 to like 23. I think that we can be a top 20 offense this year. I think at best, top 15. I think top 20 is not bad, though. If we can be a top 20, if we can have our defense the way it was last year that finished top 4, and we have a top 20 defense, we could be a 500 team easily with the schedule we got. But again, I'm still sticking. I'm not saying that we're going to win 8-9 games. No. I'm still sticking with my 6 to 7 wins. Still sticking to it. I'm going to stick with 6 to 7 wins. I am not going to drink the Kool-Aid like I did last year. I'm not going to do it. And then get burned in the end. I'm just not going to do it. Last year, I got burned. Right? I said last year, it's crazy. I said last year, I was going to do it. That we were going to win 10 games, and look how that panned out for me. Not too good. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see how it pans out, John. I think the defense is going to be better than what some people think. I think with Evero, he could literally, I feel like could take shit and turn it into gold from a defensive standpoint. I mean, he took practice squad players last year and still were, that defense was still able to produce. Did y'all see this? Panthers are at involuntary OTAs. Meanwhile, Eddie Pinheiro is living his best life. You are way too optimistic. I think we go 5-12. You picked literally 1 to 2 games higher than I did, or lower than I did. I don't think you're way too optimistic, John. I said 6 to 7 wins. I said last year I picked us to 10 wins. And I've been eating that crow. I said 6 to 7 wins this year. That's not overly optimistic. It's only 1 to 2 games higher than yours. Burns are great, but why do we keep acting like he turned it nothing more than above average performance last year? Well, apparently he didn't want to get hurt. And apparently, there's all these other issues. It's I don't want to talk about the Brian Burns situation. I said my piece about that shit. He's not on this team anymore, I can tell you that. He's not on this team anymore. He's gone. I saw that. It's so funny. It was ridiculous, man. This guy can't even freaking come out and kick some field goals, but obviously he doesn't care. I don't think he wants to play here anymore. And if he doesn't, that's fine by me. We've got the thicker kicker, Harrison Mavis. I'm all about it. I am all about it. So if he wants to move on, fine by me. Dude, Deshaun Watson is still the highest. How are these guys? No. That is crazy. I mean, I don't think our roster is that bad, man. I really don't. I could say that our center, cornerback room, pass rushing, those 3 positions for sure might be the worst. But I think we have certain rooms on our roster that are definitely better than other teams' rosters. Oh, they're definitely going to use all that fuel that the league views us as the worst in the NFL. I mean, it's unfortunate, but I think they definitely are going to use that for fuel. Look at this. This is interesting. Highest paid NFL quarterbacks in 2024 based off cap hit. Deshaun Watson at $63.8 million. That is just ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Which team do I think is worse than us? I think the Cardinals are. You look at their roster from top to bottom, their team They're in full rebuild mode, though. So I would say the Cardinals roster is worse than ours. I would say the Giants roster ain't much better than ours. Maybe that maybe the defense might be a little bit better from them adding Brian Burns, and they have Dexter Lawrence and Kayvon Thibodeau. But other than that, and I guess they also have Justin Simmons. Who else do the Giants have? Do they have anybody else? I mean, offensively, they got Malik Neighbors, but if we look at their roster as a totality, it's really not that good. They don't have Darren Waller anymore. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the Giants roster. I mean, besides Kayvon Thibodeau, Brian Burns, Malik Neighbors, Dexter Lawrence. Who else did they got? Well, we already mentioned 3 guys on the team. Yeah, they do have Andrew Thomas. That's fair. I don't know. I'd have to go look at rosters. The Giants might have a better roster than we do. They might. I'd have to look at their roster a little bit more. But I'm looking at this. This is nuts to me. You got Deshaun Watson at $63.8 million. You got Dak Prescott at $55.1 million. Russell Wilson at $53. Matthew Stafford at $49. Kyler Murray at $49.1. Daniel Jones at $47.9. And you got Patrick Mahomes at $37 million. Now, out of these quarterbacks, only 3 of them have won a Super Bowl. Mahomes, Stafford, Wilson. Two of them haven't even won a playoff game. Murray and Jones. Dude, that's insane to me. I just need to see improvement this year. Last year was so hard to watch. It was hard to watch. It was hard to watch for sure. Okay, let's see. MLB basketball announcements. Apply to learn more. Internship opportunities. It's cool. Bengals Twitter account cooked this Ravens fan. Let's see what this says. For the second year in a row, we're celebrating by responding to haters in the comments below. May the odds ever be in your favor. Happy birthday to us. 57 years, no rings. We didn't ask about your love life. Oh my God. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Daniel Jones won a playoff game? Did he really? What year did he win a playoff? Has Daniel Jones won a playoff game? Really? Oh, he did. Jesus. I didn't realize that. Well, my bad for saying that. He did win a playoff game. He beat the Vikings. That's right. I totally forgot about that. Totally forgot about that. See if there's any interesting NFL news coming out right now. Interesting. And then there's Joe Milton. Okay. This was interesting right here. I saw this morning. It says Joe Parsons. It says they didn't really have guys to get open last year, so me being in this offense is a big impact for the rest of the guys around him. Interesting. Yeah, no, I can't. John, I can't believe I had to look it up. I had to make sure you were right. I had to Google it. Who are worse than Bryce? I think Daniel Jones is definitely one of them. I don't know. I think to make that statement, I need to see what happens this year, John. Who do I think is worse than Bryce right now? I don't know. I think I need to see. I think Daniel Jones is worse than him. I'd rather have Bryce Young than Daniel Jones. Watson was bad, but he's on his. I think Watson is on his. I think Watson's going to be on his way up. I think Watson's going to be on his way up. I think that what Cleveland has around him there in Cleveland and that defense, and if Watson can stay healthy for a full season, I think the Browns are going to be scary this year. John, I wouldn't trade Bryce for Bo Nix. I wouldn't trade him for I wouldn't trade him for Spencer Rattler either, even though I like Spencer Rattler. I wouldn't trade him for Penix because he can't stay healthy. Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, Drake May. I think you definitely could. If you want to, I probably would. I mean, I probably would. I'd probably take a chance. But again, right now, I think even though, but part of me says no, because I'd rather see what we have first before I make a trade. Because if I just go out and trade trade for Bryce Young, right? If I trade Bryce Young for Drake May, Jane Daniels, or Caleb Williams, who's to say that they don't end up coming here and being just as bad, right? I don't know. I think that's a tough question. I'd have to really sit down and think about that. I really would. I really, really would. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate everyone joining the live stream. I'm going to hop off of here. Everyone have a blessed Friday. Have a great Memorial weekend. It's a long weekend. Enjoy the sunshine. Enjoy the sunshine for sure. Hopefully, it's going to be sunny wherever you guys are at. Maybe go to the beach. If you're near the beach, go to the pool. Go enjoy yourself. Grill out. Do some hamburgers and hot dogs. I'm going to go play golf. Enjoy some time with some family and friends. And enjoy the beautiful weather here where I live. So appreciate everyone joining the live stream. As always, guys, love y'all. Appreciate this love and support. I will see y'all next Tuesday because I will not be live on Monday. So I appreciate everyone joining the live stream and here showing that support. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Peace. Keep pounding.